And express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning, and welcome to the Art Lewis Show. I am filling in for Art today. I am Larry Rodarte, and I'm so happy to be here today. We have a wet day out there in the weatherland, and it is kind of nice to get away from the heat for a little bit this mid-August. We're August 15th already, middle of the month, and we've got an event coming up this weekend, and I'm hoping that the weather is definitely going to warm up and dry out because we've got the Saginaw Taco Fest coming up. And I have a guest today who is participating. And I want to ask the question out there to my audience. I want to ask everybody, what is an elote? Have you heard of that? Because an elote in Spanish, it actually is, my guest is going to tell you, but it's actually corn. It's a corn cob, and he is the Cob King. The elote is the classic Mexican street food of corn on the cob, steamed on grilled, slathered in cheese, spiked sauces like Parmesan cheese, and it's becoming a huge hit in the Saginaw area because he opened up his business over at the SVRC about a year ago, and it has been really successful, and he is in great demand at many of the events this summer, and his name is James Garza. And he's in our studios today. So I want everybody to welcome James Garza to Alpha Media and WSGW on the Art Lewis Show. Hello, James.
Hey, Larry. Good morning. It's good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about the elote, because that's your staple with all the food that you do present at SVRC with the Cob King. Tell us about the elote, though, because that's the most popular, right?
Yeah, that's the most popular. That's kind of like what we built the business around, was the Mexican street corn. So, yeah, it's a Mexican street corn on the cob, or you can get it shaved. We shave it in a cup if they don't want to walk around with eating the cob, right? So we take sweet corn, we steam it. I have a corn roaster as well. We roast the corn. We lather it with butter, mayo, Parmesan, cojito cheese, cayenne, just different spices. We get a little crazy with it. We also have a flaming hot Cheeto elote that's real popular right now, and also blue taki.
Well, wait a minute. Now, you mentioned flaming hot. Did you see an upswing with that movie that came out on, what was that?
That was
Netflix?
Yeah, it was on Netflix. Yep. Or Hulu. It might have been Hulu.
Oh, Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
And the flaming hot cheese, is it really popular? Or do you have a lot of people that love the hot, spicy
when
ones?
we first started, we tried a lot of different recipes, a lot of different. I mean, if you look at some of my old Facebook posts, we even had a unicorn elote for the kids. It's like we put food coloring like in the mayo. It was pink and purple, and I mean, and that's crazy. It sounds crazy, but it actually originated in Tijuana, where they made like a unicorn elote, and just like the crazier you can get with it, more colorful. It looks like a piece of candy, but it's an elote. So yeah, that hot Cheeto one, we kept coming back to it because it was a big demand. So we just put it on the menu.
So the elote, is very popular, of course, in the bigger cities, California, Chicago, and Saginaw has just recently come to know what the real elotes are. Grand Rapids had a few vendors that were also putting them out, but you're the one that kicked that off here in Saginaw. Tell us the story about how you got involved with the elote.
Yeah, so this started about 11 years ago. My brother actually bought the original corn roaster trailer from Mexico, like I said, 10, 12 years ago. And he would just bring it out at parties and just events, not really as a vendor, but just for fun, family events. And he wasn't interested in becoming a food vendor. So it kind of just sat around, and I started playing around with it, and we kind of brought it back to life. And I've always had a 9 to 5, right? So I only was able to do anything on the weekends. So like Cinco de Mayo was a big step for us. That kind of put us on the map as well. So when we did the Cinco de Mayo the first time about 10 years ago, like I said, I only could do it like once or twice a year. So people were familiar with it. They looked for the elote, but it wasn't like it wasn't available all the time like it is now, now that we're doing it full time.
And so you have this big roaster. That's what we're talking about, the big roaster. And how many do you usually cook like at one time?
So I can do about 140 ears of corn on that trailer, and it's built like rotisserie style. So it has a big steering wheel at the end, and it's propane burners at the bottom. We load it up, we soak the corn, load it up, and it kind of it cooks on an open flame, steams it, and like roasted corn, it's just different. It hits different. It it breaks down the sugars, and it's just there's nothing like it.
And it's just delicious. If you've
Yeah,
ever had one, you know that savory taste that comes with it, and the Parmesan cheese. I actually just like it with Parmesan cheese
right,
sometimes.
right.
It's so delicious. And but you've got different sauces like you mentioned. I know you've got what's the purple sauce that you is
Yeah, so
really popular?
Oh yeah, it's the chamoy. Yeah,
Chamoy, yeah.
chamoy. Chamoy is it's a Chinese plum sauce. It's like a apricot sauce. So it's kind of sweet and sour. But yeah, it has a nice touch to it. And I thought traditionally there chamoy doesn't go on the elote, right? It's just like cayenne peppers. It's
Yeah.
more of a dry deal, but we added that chamoy as kind of like our own signature on there, and it's been working out great. Now people ask for extra chamoy, so I know they like it. Right?
Along with those, are there other like hot spices that you actually use?
No, that's probably as hot as it gets. When we, like I said, we have a third one. It's a blue Takis. If people are familiar with Takis, they're like hotter than hot Cheetos, right? So,
Wow.
so yeah, that's probably the hottest one we have, and that's like the third elote that we sell there.
Wow. So they've been really good for you there at the SVRC.
Oh yeah. I can slowly see we're becoming a staple. There's people that come from all the Tri Cities just to find us inside the market.
And how's that been for you, the SVRC marketplace?
It's been great. I mean, that the Rachel Cotty that runs the facility, she's great. And I see a lot of new faces all the time, and it just works well because there's other vendors in there, right? So if they're waiting in line, they go see Taste of Chicago or the Creole, or they go anywhere else, and they're just looking around. They see me, and they'll come to me, or my customers go to them. So we kind of all work off each other, right?
Oh, that's nice.
Creole
That's
Queens,
nice
yeah.
to hear that, because that has been open up since 2018, I believe. Now, the SVRC, and I remember how excited everybody was when it first opened and all, and it was really a nice concept that was happening in downtown Saginaw. And so it's nice to see that yourself. I know Tony from El Farolito; he's
Mhm.
also there. Tony Garza, and it's nice to see the variety of different foods that is there and that you're playing off of each other. And when I heard that you were going into SVRC, I was like, oh, yes, now we can get elotes. And of course, all the other great drinks that you have, now downtown Saginaw. And that was really a change for, I think, our community. I'm talking about the Latino community, because the only time we could get those was at events like
Mhm.
Cinco de Mayo or other festivals and stuff. Tell me a little bit about who you are, James Garza, because I know you're from Bridgeport. I want my audience to know kind of where you originated from.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Bridgeport, Michigan. Um, and my father was retired from General Motors Gray Iron. When he retired in the 90s, he moved us all down to San Antonio. That's where he's from. Mother's from Brownsville, Texas. So we moved down to San Antonio. We were there for about 20 years. I spent there, so that's where I got real familiar with the popular Mexican snacks I see on, and it was just an everyday thing down there. You can go in any corner and get the hot Cheeto elotes, or the fruit cups. The fruit cups are a big deal down there, and the corn. So I've always came back and forth to Michigan to Texas, and I was like, man, why don't we do something here? We're working on the idea. My brother bought that corn roaster. It was just a big hit. That's something I was really familiar with already. So it's great to share our culture and see how well it's been doing.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to go into break real quick, and we'll be back talking with James Garza here on the Art Lewis Show.
Hi, Art Lewis here. And after many years in several vehicles, I finally get to talk about my car dealer, McDonald Ford, on M47 in Freeland. McDonald Ford wants you to know they are now buying cars. You can sell your vehicle by beginning the process by simply sending 7 photos of your car to Joe at McDonaldFord.com. Photos must be of the front, rear, left, and right sides, car's interior, dashboard showing vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. Receive an offer, and you decide. Payment is on the spot and includes all paperwork and lien release. Don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today and tell your friends and family too. Send your photos to joe@mcdonaldford.com. That's joe@mcdonaldford.com. Oh, by the way, mention my name, Art Lewis, and they'll throw in a free lunch with the deal. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Americans were spending in July more than expected. Retail sales rose 0.4%. Excluding auto sales, the increase was 0.7%. The month included Amazon Prime Day and competing sales from other retailers. For the year ending in July, retail sales were up 3.2%. Though the reading is not adjusted for inflation, so you may be spending more but not buying more. Another report on manufacturing from the New York Fed found activity slumped, a decline of 19 for that reading. Home Depot is reporting an upbeat quarter, both earnings and revenue top predictions, and Home Depot is buying back $15 billion worth of its stock. But there are new concerns about China's economy after it reported weaker numbers for July and lowered interest rates. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Starting August 22nd, the U.S. dollar may have new competition from a new global supercurrency backed by Russia and China. And if the dollar plummets, your retirement could follow. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I recommend a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold by texting the word shelter to 989898. I encourage you to act before August 22nd. Text shelter to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold now.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Go with your gut. Go with Dynamite. 70% of your dog's immune system is based in the gut. So for overall health, good nutrition is vital. But how can you be sure your dog is getting the nutrition they need? A diet lacking proper nutrients can present issues like itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite is the delicious nutritional supplement created to boost your dog's overall health. And the reviews are incredible.
Poor Sam. He was a mess, always itching. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dinovite, I started to see improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent.
Right now, try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's DINOVITE.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
The WSGW Morning Team.
It's being called one of the world's highest speeding fines ever. About $212,000 for this speeding infraction. This is in Finland. How does that happen? This guy is 76 years old, by the way. He's a multi-millionaire businessman. Fines for traffic infringements in Finland are based on the severity of the offense and also the offender's income. Police can check instantly the income of whomever they're trying to check on because they have connecting via their smartphones to the central taxpayer database. They're kind of interesting. Now, what if we applied that here in this country?
Fines based on income.
Yeah. I mean, if this were me, I'm guessing I'd owe like maybe $1.25. It could be beneficial.
The Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Good morning again. We are back here on the Art Lewis Show, and I am filling in for Art this morning. I'm Larry Rodarte, and usually I'm here in the studio during the evening hours for Mi Gente on air. And I'm having a difficult time this morning getting up so early on a rainy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? August the 15th. And we're talking Taco Fest. It's coming up this weekend, this Saturday, at the soccer complex in the township. The first time we're having it there. It's the second annual Taco Fest presented by the Unión Cívica Mexicana. And one of the participants who's going to be a food vendor there, we have about 10. His name is James Garza, and he's in the studio today because he is the Cobb King. He is Cobb King at SVRC, and he's with us to talk about his food and the famous elote. It's called the elote. And we've been describing what that is because it's probably something that is very unfamiliar with many people, but it's basically street corn. And he just does such a great job with it. Tell us a little bit again, James, that street corn, like how did that come about for you here in terms of the different types of elote street corn that you have?
Yeah, so like I said, when we first started off, we're putting a menu together, and we're kind of just trying different things and seeing what works best with that sweet corn. Now, different corns you get at different times of the season matters too, right? So we don't have our corn in the winter months. This was my challenge for me, was finding corn in our winter months, and I was able to do that. Luckily, we got some Florida corn, and it was pretty good. But I think Michigan corn is probably the best. I put that against any corn, California, whatever. I think when it's our season, we have our corn. So that's what you want to start off with, is a really nice piece of corn, right? So and make sure it's sweet. And we roast that in our corn roaster. Like I said, it brings out the natural sugars in that. And then we lather it, butter, mayo, cheese, cayenne, and our chamoy sauce. And that's the OG. And that's probably that's the most popular one, I could say. Second to that would be the hot Cheeto, flaming hot Cheeto. So that's everything I described, plus crushed hot Cheeto crumbs on that corn. Now you can get that on the cob, or we shave it into a cup. So if, it's a little less messier.
Now I've seen where there's different colors, bright blue, bright red. During Cinco de Mayo, he had a purple one, which was representing Selena, the singer, because her husband was at the Cinco de Mayo one year. We had her, Chris Perez. And so what is the attraction, for you to do that is it just for the events, or is that also something that you sell at SVRC?
Yeah, it's like a theme deal. We've done one for the Detroit Tigers. We've done one for Halloween. So yeah, it's real fun, and the kids love it too. So we can food coloring. You can dye pretty much the mayo and butter, cheese, any color you'd like. For the Halloween deal, I remember we used just regular orange Cheetos, right? And I think we did some food coloring in that mayo, and yeah, it is the eye catcher, especially on social media, and that's what it's all about, right? Making something look really delicious. That and as soon as I post anything on there with Cobb King, if it's our fruit cups, Italian ice, candy grapes, I almost immediately I have people come through the door like, I want this, and they just show me the phone, So yeah. So that works out for us.
So along with being a food vendor entrepreneur, you have to also become a marketing guru, because that's what's so important for any food truck or any food vendor. And what is your strategy, would you say, like when you're on Facebook or any other social media?
Yeah, so that there's the saying, like having your pictures and your items like Instagram ready. So you don't want to just slap something together, and presentation's everything, right? So once we come up with something new or something we put a spin on, you make sure you get a really good picture on it, and we put it out there with a nice description. And usually, if it works, it doesn't, but we're always down to try new things, new trends. I try to stay on top of that. And my teenage daughter helps me out with that a lot with social media.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make sure Art's audience here understood what an elote was, because it's not a term that you hear of often, but more so now because of James and his business with Cobb King at SVRC. But my producer, he's here, Jonathan Dent, he's in the room. And I remember Jonathan had come over to the Cinco de Mayo last year, I think it was. And we, or was it a different event? But he wasn't familiar with the elote at all. And I want to get his take on this because he he is now familiar with the elote is.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was because we had James on Mi Gente on air last year at one point, and I said, and we were recording, and it was a Tuesday, and I was like, okay, when is the SVRC marketplace open? And James said, well, it's open tomorrow because it's Wednesday to Saturday or something.
Yeah, Wednesday
right?
to Saturday.
I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow.
Right on.
I went right there, grabbed an elote, and it is fantastic.
What was it like when you took that first bite? Because that's really something.
Well, it starts with the smell. It smells so good when you walk in, and the bright colors and all. It is a full experience. No, but,
for sure.
But the highlight is definitely the taste. It's really good. I've been back there a few times, and I've brought my mom to Cobb King because she loves tacos and Mexican food in general, and had her taste one. She said that's really good. And she's chased down street corn at other places that she's been. She's like, I found street corn. Is it as good as Cobb King? No.
Yeah. Well, it's really, like you say, that savory taste that of course, if you've got mayonnaise and butter, I mean, how can you go wrong with that, right? But, it's also the sauces that you put in there, and then definitely the Parmesan cheese. Yeah. So how long would you say is the process because I see you at the events, and you're pulling that corn from the roasters. How long does it take you to prepare one?
That roaster, it depends on the weather too, right? If it's like a fall day or a hot summer day, is probably with any roaster or cooking device. So it takes about 45 minutes for us to roast about 120 ears. And once that's done, I could slap I do it with my eyes closed. So I'll get a elote ready in 2 minutes, probably. You know what I mean? And if you want it in the cup, it takes a little bit longer. So we actually, I've actually had people stand around and just watch me when we shave that corn. We have this little device. It's like a corn shucker. It takes the kernels right off the cob.
Yeah.
And I can do that in 2 seconds. I'll strip a whole corn down, and we put it in the cup, and it's just a little less messier. So don't forget, you don't have to walk around mayonnaise on your face off the cob. We saw that corn in the cup as well.
Well, I know that last year we had my large family reunion, the Diaz family reunion, and it was so popular that we had invited Cobb King to come over, and we gave members free elotes, and the line was just huge. Do you remember that? I would suggest to anybody, if you're looking for a bright new idea in terms of for a party or for family reunion, Cobb King is the way to go because it's very popular. Everybody can. It's when you hold an elote, you can actually hold it in your hand like an ice cream cone.
Right.
So you don't need the plates or anything like that or forks. You could just eat it how you would eat corn. And so it's been very popular with that. Have you gotten a lot of requests to cater like that in those types of events?
Yeah, we do a lot of catering. I got a couple catering gigs coming up as well. But yeah, they see it, and we set up a little elote bar, and they can come and the guests can get whatever they want added to that corn there. So yeah,
well, that's a fresh idea. So we're gonna go back into commercial real quick, and we'll be back here on the Art Lewis Show.
Fast Eddie's has been a family-owned business for almost 50 years, and we provide outstanding service when it comes to keeping your vehicle clean and running at its best. Fast Eddie's will give away a free 6-month Ultimate Car Wash membership to one lucky winner at the Birch Run Speedway every week for the rest of the race season. No purchase necessary. You can wash your car every day of the week, and we still pre-wash and towel dry your vehicle by hand. Fast Eddie's Car Wash and Oil Change Centers is your one-stop shop with 17 locations to serve you.
The Dixie Days celebration continues at Birch Run Speedway and Event Center, celebrating 75 years with weekly family-friendly racing fun. And Michigan's premier racetrack has added Gas Alley with great food, cold drinks, and good friends, and the longest bar in Michigan. They're open 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. Make sure you check their daily lunch specials. Hundreds of families join us every week for true family fun at Birch Run Speedway and Event Center. For the full race schedule and more, check birchrunracing.com.
Looking to spruce up the yard this summer? Stop in and check out the summer sale at Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center in Midland. Choose from a large selection of trees, shrubs, and perennials, now all 40% off the regular price. All in-stock alfresco home outdoor furniture is now 30 to 40% off the regular price. Choose from both dining and deep seating sets, as well as some closeout items. Select in-stock Adirondack chairs are now $50 off. Stop in soon for best selection. Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, located 1.5 miles north of the Midland Mall on Eastman Road next to DW Auto in Midland. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30, and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Choose from a large selection of trees, shrubs, and perennials, now all 40% off the regular price. Visit us on the web at www.maplehillmidland.com or like us on Facebook.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from Frankenmuth Aerial Park, Unique Floral and Gifts in Bay City, Daylight Outfitters, Cottage Inn Pizza in Saginaw, Music Mixology DJ Service, Nori's Restaurant, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, and so many more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
News coverage.
Criminal indictment against former President Trump and 18 of his allies.
11,780 votes.
Wildfires tore through residential and tourist areas on the island of Maui.
News.
2 juveniles were arrested Monday in connection with a robbery in Greendale Township.
The city of Saginaw gets ready for the Memorial Cup next year.
Bay County, this is their team, this is their facility. We needed to step up to another level, and we're hoping to get more cup like that.
News coverage on WSGW. From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm Larry Rodarte, and I'm filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show this morning, and it is a pleasure. I'm always happy to come in and fill in for Art because it gives me the opportunity to have a different audience. And of course, it's prime time, I would say, on Radio Land here at WSGW. And I'm able to bring in guests like James Garza here, who is the Cobb King himself. He's very popular within the Latino community of Saginaw and the Great Lakes Bay region. And he is well known at SVRC because he has a business there. He's a small business owner, and it's part of the incubator, if you will, of SVRC, one of the businesses. How has that been for you, James, that experience?
It's been great. I've done the Cop King deal on the side for 10 years. I've always had a 9 to 5 job. So last year we decided to go full time with it. So I quit my job and took a step, and it's been great. I've been at the SCRC for about a year already. July marked a year for us. We had a celebration there, and it's been great. Everything's been working out nice. I've seen a lot of new faces, and it's a location where people can actually find me. Right, I'm not bouncing around in the streets. So yeah, SVRC.
Now, I noticed like there's a trend of young men and women who are leaving their 9 to 5s and they're going after their dreams. And that was a big decision for you, right? You were at Hosbeck Pickles, I believe,
Yep.
a great company. And what made you finally like throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to, be my own business owner. How did that process happen for you?
It didn't happen overnight, right?
Right.
Especially I had to convince my wife, but she would do the events with us, and she's seen how popular it got, and and I'd be stuck in my office staring at the wall, like, man, I'm missing out. I'm missing watching the train go by. And at this time, there wasn't a lot of food trucks or a lot of people doing the food vending deal, but I'm glad there is now because, like you said, there is a lot of young people taking that same move forward and believing in themselves, right? And seeing if your business has legs in the SCRC marketplace, that's what it's built for. You sign a 2-year lease, and if your business has legs, usually from there, after the 2 years, a lot of businesses that are successful go on to get their own brick and mortar.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that something that you have in your future, a brick and mortar, or tell us what's next for Cop King?
Yeah, so that's the game plan, is to get a brick and mortar. Actually, a couple. I wouldn't mind franchising the deal. We have a lot more items, and I'm seeing a lot more people from the surrounding areas come and find us, and just like, man, I wish you were in Bay City. I wish you were in Flint. So yeah, we've had people come and find us from all over. So it makes me want to do more. And after these 2 years are up, I think that's where we're headed.
All right, all right. Well, one of the great popular drinks that you have, because you also have drinks, not just the corn or the elotes, but the Italian ice. And one of the most popular items that was sold at Cinco de Mayo Festival this year was the mangonada. Tell us about that and about your Italian ice.
So the mangonada is a frozen Mexican treat. It's made from fresh mango puree. You can freeze it, and then we add our fresh mangoes on top and the chamoy sauce, tahine. It's like a fruit seasoning. And so that's the popular way to do it. I was lucky enough to find my very own Italian ice vendor that makes the ice just for us. So when I found out he had mango, I said, well, I'm going to try to make this mangonada, and it's great. I put it up against any.
Yeah, it was delicious. Definitely. Is that something that you serve over at SVRC as well?
Yes, and we also have different flavors. We do 10 flavors. I usually have a flavor of the week. Last week we had a caramel apple flavor topped with the caramel apple sauce, and it's sour green apple. So yeah, we try to do something special like that every week.
And especially during the hot days of August, they've got to be pretty popular.
Oh yeah. So I was waiting for. This is my first summer with that Italian ice, going full time with it, and yeah, it's been really great. So I've had people from Philadelphia compare it to they call water ice. So yeah, they said it's great.
Well, part of the reason why I invited James on the show, on the Art Lewis Show this morning, was because this Saturday, August the 19th, the second annual Taco Fest, Saginaw Taco Fest, is happening at the Saginaw Township Soccer Complex. It's the first year that we're doing it over there. We're going to try the Party and McCarty people. They said this would be a great idea to, have the Taco Fest here because we've got the stage, we've got the tent set up, and it's just a much more conducive area to have a large festival like we had last year. Last year, thank God we had it at Sarah on Bay Road. That was a great location. But working with the cars and that we have there at the auto place is a little bit more difficult than having it, say, at the soccer complex. It's a lot easier, it seems. So we want to invite everybody out to the Saginaw Taco Fest, the second annual, and there's going to be bouncy houses for the kids, and there's going to be entertainment, music, as well as we've got a contest, the best taco hat that we're going to have, and we're telling everybody to come on out and be festive and dress up a hat and make it a taco theme, because that's what this is, a taco festival. And it's going to be interesting to see. Last year we also had a Chihuahua contest, but because it's at the soccer complex, we can't have that there this year. But it's fun. It's part of what makes these festivals so great. And I know that there have been some wonderful taco festivals at Canterbury and Lake Orion, as well as Royal Oak and at the Eastern Market down in Detroit. And Saginaw has its own taco fest, and we're really happy to be inviting 10 taco trucks. And we've got TNT, authentic Mexican cuisine, Mr. Patito Man, myself will be out there with the Patitos selling. We've got Big Pete's Street Tacos. Many of you are familiar with Big Pete's at AutoZone. Of course, Cobb King will be out there, Manny's Barbecue, the Love Shack with Jeremiah Gallardo, and Wonder Burger's going to be there as well, and as well as some vendors from Detroit, Southwest Community, and Flint, Gordos, and Flacos Tacos. But I want to say something about Wonder Burger and Cobb King, because they're not known for tacos, but they're going to actually make tacos, right, James? You're going to be making a taco that day, a chicken lime taco.
Yeah, we do a crispy chicken lime taco that's been hitting pretty good for us. Probably once a week we try to do a protein at Cobb King, so that taco works well. We sell out every time. So yeah, we're bringing our crispy chicken lime tacos.
So Cobb King, they're doing corn on the cob, they're doing Italian ice, they're doing chicken tacos. What else do you got going on over there?
We got our Mexican fruit cups. So,
oh yes.
Yeah, so we every fresh fruit cut up, chopped up, fresh lime juice, and all our seasonings.
Well, we're going to hear more about that when we come back from commercial here on the Art Lewis Show.
Warmer weather is here, and associates in eye care want you to remember to wear sunglasses with UV protection. Most of us acquire 80% of our lifetime UV exposure before 18, so it's extremely important for children to have sunglasses with UV protection. Ultraviolet rays have harmful effects on the eyes that can lead to cataracts and macular degeneration. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Engel at their Saginaw or Hemlock locations, call 792-8686. Associates in Eye Care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Make it $1 million summer with over $1 million in premium play every Saturday now through September. 6 lucky players win $500 premium play every half hour from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Don't miss the excitement of $1 Million Summer. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Save big money with 11% off everything. Now at Menards. Railback high-energy alkaline batteries are perfect for powering up everyday devices around the house. And a 24-pack will ensure you're covered for when you need it. Pick up a 24-pack of Railback high-energy alkaline batteries for $8.99 each after 11% off. That's only 38 cents per battery. Good through August 20th. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand?
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Line drive, base hit into left. Passes in, Carpenter's behind him. Baez heads to third. Short will round first and hold another big RBI hit.
The Tigers play tonight at 7:15 on WSGW.
Good morning. I'm Larry Rodarte, filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show this morning, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. And we're going to talk a little bit more with James Garza from Cobb King. He is my guest here in studio because he's going to be participating in the second annual Saginaw Taco Fest. The Unión Cívica Mexicana is presenting the second annual Taco Fest on Saturday, August 19th, 2023 at the Saginaw Township Soccer Complex, 4033 McCarty Road, where they have Party on McCarty in Saginaw, Michigan, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we are so happy that we have this new location, and we're hoping that it's going to be as successful as the Party on McCarty events that are happening. And so, James, I want to ask you, what did you think about when we decided to move to Party on McCarty, and what are you looking forward to for this event?
Yeah, I'm excited. I thought it was a great move. I think we're going to see a lot of new faces out there. So yeah, I think you have a lot more food vendors this year as well, right?
Yeah, we've got like 5 more than last year.
And those are really good vendors.
Yeah, so if you're a person that likes tacos, this is the place to celebrate and be happy.
Come hungry.
Come hungry.
Come
if
hungry.
you do, we have actually 10 taco trucks that are coming out. Maybe an 11th one that is going to be doing some like shrimp tacos, believe it or not. So there's going to be a variety of different, from the carnita tacos to the pastor tacos. Some of the street vendors that are going to be out there from Southwest Detroit that's very popular down there, as well as like I said, the patitos and the Cobb King here. He's going to be having his elote. So there's going to be all kinds of a variety of cuisine there, but the basic one is going to be the taco. And Saginaw has really shifted from having hard shell tacos, kind of like the Taco Bell taco, to the street taco now, and it's happened in, like, say, the last 5 years. What's your take on that, James?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. It took a while to get here, right? But I think social media has a lot to do with that as well. But yeah, it's great. Everybody's doing a little something different. We can't stray too far away from that Saginaw Vargas tortilla shell, though.
Right.
You can't beat that. There's people that still have them shipped all over the place. They move out of Saginaw down to Florida or whatever, and they still come back for that Vargas Saginaw
tortillas.
taco.
yes. And what is your staple in terms of, like, you try to have corn from like Saginaw farmers, or how's
Yeah.
that?
Oh well, I'm lucky enough to be inside the SVRC market, where they have the farmers market right outside, and it's going on now. I think they're open like 3 or 4 days out of the week. So I'll go right out there, and there's like 4 vendors there that have their own fresh corn. So I can inspect it and get it right there, straight from the farmer.
Now Rafael's out there. He's a vendor at SVRC, and man, he's got some hot chilies. I love his jalapenos and his habaneros, and that's a great place to go if you're looking for those hot chilies, to go out to Rafael's there at the SVRC Farmers Market. So what do you plan on serving this Saturday? What's going to be your main staple? The elote?
Yeah,
You're going to center on that?
Yeah, we're going to center on the Mexican street corn on the cob, or you can get it in the cup. We're also bringing our mangonadas, Italian ice, and our fruit cups. So fruit cups is a when I started off with the corn, we needed something different. So we brought the Mexican fruit cup. It's watermelon, cucumber, pineapple, cut fresh right on the spot. We put fresh lime juice on there and our tahini seasoning with our chamoy sauce. So I plan on bringing that and the crispy chicken lime taco.
Do you also have cucumber cups with lime?
Yeah. We did a cucumber lime drink. Yep.
Yeah. So it's quite a variety that he offers there at the Cobb King, and he's going to be at the Saginaw Taco Fest this Saturday. James Garza, along with 9 other vendors, taco trucks, and we want to invite everybody in the community to come on out. Everybody's invited because everybody loves tacos, right? And we're so happy that we're going to be at the Saginaw Township Soccer Complex this year, and we're going to give it a go there and see how that works out for everybody. And I think there's plenty of room out there. There's going to be great entertainment, bouncy houses, as well as the Saginaw Taco Contest best taco hat. So come on out, everybody. And we're going to say goodbye to James Garza now, and thank you for being our guest on the Art Lewis Show this morning. And we're going to sign out, and we'll be right back.
It's almost time for all the fun going on at the Ogama County Fairgrounds, August 15th through the 19th. This year, we celebrate a blast from the past, throwing it back to 1983 when the fairgrounds first opened. Featuring Shenandoah with Noah Thompson on Friday, August 18th. Tickets available at ogamacountyfair.org. The Ogama County Fair Week starts early on Sunday with the tractor and truck pull in the grandstands. You can then check out our new grandstand events, including the rodeo and dueling pianos. Something every night exciting to watch. Enjoy carnival rides with our mega bands available for riding all week. Come see our functioning antique village with special vintage candy for sale. And of course, home meals each day of the fair. We'll have free new entertainment throughout the grounds, plus the return of some favorites such as the virtual reality experience. We look forward to seeing you this year at the Ogama County Fairgrounds. Check us out on Facebook and our website for more info and schedules. Ogama County Fairgrounds, off Rifle River Trail, just 8 miles east of downtown West Branch.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you'll be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer at 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Good morning again. That's all for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. I'm Larry Rodarte, and I want to thank James Garza for joining us from the Cobb King at SVRC. Coming up in the next hour, we'll talk with John Vasquez. He is with the Great Mural Project, but before that, this is the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Donald Trump is responding to a new criminal indictment in the state of Georgia. Correspondent Allison Keyes has details on this new development.
The former president says he will release what he calls a large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report on what he calls election fraud. Trump says based on the results, all charges against me and others should be dropped, and this will be a complete exoneration.
Mr. Trump and 18 allies, among them Rudy Giuliani and former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, have been given until a week from Friday to surrender. Correspondent Nicole Killian is in Atlanta.
District
District Attorney Fonnie Willis has asked all 19 defendants to surrender within the next 10 days, and she wants to try all of them together. This sprawling indictment lays out an alleged criminal enterprise, citing criminal acts here in Georgia and 6 other states.
The death toll in Maui's wildfires is up to 99, and search crews have only made it through about 25% of the hard-hit community of Lahaina. There are new questions about the island's main utility. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti reports from nearby Kula.
Investigators are trying to determine if downed power lines caused the fire. Hawaiian Electric says it doesn't have a shutoff program like some other utilities, pointing to hardships a loss of power could create.
The mother of a 6-year-old who shot his teacher in Virginia is expected to plead guilty today after she was charged with felony child neglect and a misdemeanor count of recklessly storing a firearm. Police say her son brought the gun to school with the intention of shooting his teacher, Abby Werner. She survived. Education officials in Arkansas are warning high school students about an AP class.
Under a new state law, high school advanced placement classes on African American studies will no longer be recognized for course credit. The change was approved by the Republican-led Arkansas legislature earlier this year. Jacksonville North Pulaski School Superintendent Jeremy Owo is taking it in stride.
I know that there were certain groups who were advocating both ways, but we have a school district to run.
Several groups are challenging the AP class change in court. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Higher prices, another interest rate hike ahead, didn't put a damper on retail sales. They were up at better than expected 0.7% last month. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
In various consumer surveys, people seem to express some doubt about the economy, and yet they continue to spend.
We spent the most on clothing, sporting goods, and eating out at restaurants. The Dow is down 226 points. This is CBS News.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring system helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Flock to Dow Diamond August 26th for Paw Patrol Night with an appearance by Chase.
Chase is on the case.
Presented by My Michigan Health.
You got it.
No job is too big, no pup too small.
Help is on the way.
Bid in the Paw Patrol-inspired jerseys available at auction throughout the game.
I'm on it.
After the game, we'll light up the sky with a fireworks loontacular powered by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast at 989-837-BALL or loons.com.
Let's dive in.
It's Loons baseball time.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 63 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchek. A 49-year-old man from Shepherd was killed in a crash on North Warner Road early Sunday morning. The Gratiot County Sheriff's Department says deputies were sent to the 10,000 block of North Warner shortly before 3 a.m. Officials say the man had been driving a motorcycle when he was struck by an SUV driven by a 28-year-old man from Elwell. The motorcyclist was taken by helicopter to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. According to police, the SUV driver was arrested for driving under the influence. As of Monday morning, his name had not been released pending arraignment. Residents of Perry in Shiawassee County continue to clean up their community after an EF1 tornado swept through the area last Friday. The National Weather Service confirmed the twister that evening after it tore through the downtown area, damaging 3 public works buildings, trees, and power lines. The town's emergency siren did not go off, as it was one of the first things damaged in the storm, according to city officials. No injuries were reported. The community has banded together as cleanup efforts continue. However, the Better Business Bureau is warning residents to beware of scammers trying to take advantage of the emergency. The organization says to be especially wary of door-to-door contractors. Residents should ask to see their identification and look for any business information, and not to sign over any insurance checks, but pay the contractor directly and ensure you receive an invoice. A hobby train shop, a fixture of Old Town Saginaw for more than 50 years, is closing its doors for good. Brasser Electric Trains at 410 Court Street posted its message of its closing to the website traindoctor.com and the Old Town Saginaw Association Facebook page. The shop is no longer accepting repair orders and has stopped sales of merchandise. However, the showcases and shelving are available for sale by emailing dbrasser@ameritech.net. The website says owners Jacob and Dean Brasser are starting a repair business in North Carolina. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Have you heard about the benefits of joining Dow Credit Union? Great rates, member giveback rebates and rewards, friendly, local service with a location opening soon in Saginaw. From your family and friends to your passions or place of employment, we have a pathway to membership for everyone at dowcreditunion.org/join. Membership eligibility required. While member giveback rebates and rewards occur with great regularity, this credit union benefit is not guaranteed. Not all loan and deposit products are eligible for member giveback consideration. Some limitations apply. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Start your day off with a bang at Sbarro in Standish. Our breakfast pizza is a crowd pleaser. Made fresh every morning with dough, sauces, eggs, and even the cheese being made in-house. That's right, no frozen ingredients here. So why settle for a boring breakfast when you can fuel up with our delicious breakfast pizza? Swing by Sbarro in the Forward Shell gas station on South Main Street to grab a slice to go. Don't miss out on the most important meal of the day, only at Sbarro in Standish.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Michigan communities are now encouraged to apply for disaster preparedness funding. The Michigan Community Service Commission announced the availability of up to $5,000 in funding for Michigan communities to develop comprehensive volunteer and management plans to be used in times of disaster. The announcement comes after a tornado touchdown in Perry. The grant program helps equip communities with recovery plans and training. The program urges several communities to apply, including local governments, school districts, and faith-based organizations. Ford is hiring a top Apple executive to help it create new digital services for customers. Peter Stern was in charge of things like iCloud and Apple News. He says he plans to develop similar products at Ford.
My focus here is going to be on creating customer experiences that feel like magic. Experiences that are so helpful, simple, and intuitive that they seem obvious in retrospect.
Stern says while some of those new Ford products will require customers to pay an extra fee, others will be part of the purchase of a new vehicle. Some of those new Ford services will start appearing in about 2 years on both electric and gas-powered vehicles. There's more information now about the plane crash involving 2 pilots who were flying at the Thunder over Michigan Air Show near Ypsilanti on Sunday. National Transportation Safety Board investigator John Brandon says the pilots ejected from the plane before it crashed into a parking lot of a nearby apartment complex. The pilots suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. No one on the ground was hurt. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Brennan says it could take months or more before the investigation is complete. WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Your Tuesday starts off with some showers and some damp conditions still across mid-Michigan. A lot of this rain will start to wind down, especially by the early afternoon. By 3 to 4 p.m., that's when we should be completely done with the rain. And by then, we'll have a high of 71 degrees. So still a bit of a cooler day, but comfortable, and a breezy northeast wind at 25 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies. After the fresh rain, this is going to lead to some patchy fog right around sunrise on your Wednesday. We'll have a low of 53 tonight, and then a high of 80 for your Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine after that fog in the morning. That sun will actually help to burn it off fairly quickly. And then for your Thursday, still tracking a cold front that brings rain and thunderstorms. There is a small chance for severe weather with this too, but it largely depends on the timing. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Right now, 65 degrees at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. I am filling in for Art this morning. I'm Larry Rodarte, and I'm here happy to be with you today. And we've got another wonderful guest. We just want to thank James Garza from the Cop King, who was with us last hour. And this hour, I have Devon Collins and John Vasquez. They are artists. They are going to be a part of the Great Mural Project, an unveiling that is going to be happening next week. Another great artwork by Saginaw artists. Can you believe that? We've got some great artwork around Saginaw now. It's something that took a while to get to happen in our community. And as you noticed in Flint, there was a lot of murals. I understand there's like 200 murals now in the city of Flint. And Saginaw has now got their own as well in the Great Mural Project, which involves Cassie Zimmerman, Jamie Forbes, and a number of different individual leaders who are making this happen. It's becoming a beautiful site in Saginaw. And I know many of you have seen last year with the great murals that they have produced, the one over at Las Estrellas, as well as the ones that you see on the corners that are part of the, what did you say they were, Jonathan? Those boxes? You know, the boxes that they painted.
Utility boxes.
The utility boxes. Yeah. We were just talking about this, my producer, Jonathan Dent. And, you know, it's nice to know that the Behringer Building is going to have a new mural that's happening. And the great unveil is going to be happening with the Great Mural Project next week. And John Vasquez is going to be heading that up. And they're starting tomorrow, believe it or not, to paint. So tell me a little bit about that, John.
We are starting tomorrow. Probably take about a week to complete, and we are trying to keep this community minded and show unity through this piece. And then the unveiling will be next Wednesday from 5:30 to 8 right in front of the Behringer Building. We'll have the street shut down. We'll have some performers and food and all that good stuff.
And it's going to be on the south end of the Behringer Building, correct?
Yes, yep, facing south, yep.
Okay, so that's basically not facing towards the Jolt Credit Union event park, right? It's going to be on the opposite side.
Yep, the side that doesn't have any windows. So
okay, and that Behringer Building, if you remember, was fireproof, right?
It has a federal historical marker now, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, it's over 100 years old, and it's a beautiful building. I remember when it was actually opening, they had like a dime store in there that had a cafe at one point. Believe it or not.
I actually 15 years ago I had a studio space up there for a couple of years. Yeah, so it's very strange. It's coming full circle.
Wow. Yeah. It was about 15 years ago. I remember going in there. I thought, what a beautiful building. So Devon Collins here is also an artist, and tell me who else is involved with this, because there's 3 artists that are going to be doing this particular mural, right?
Kayla
Peak.
Yep.
And how do you go about actually starting a project like this? Is John, are you spearheading this?
Yeah, I'm lead artist. It definitely takes a little bit of experience to be able to lay out a grid and something on this large platform. So it's just an order of operations, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I know you can't reveal much about it because that's what the great unveil is going to be next week. But you mentioned earlier in the program the theme of it. Tell us a little bit more, if you can. Share us with what we can expect as viewers of this great mural.
So we had a community group meeting where we tried to invite some people out to kind of give us some ideas and direction on what they'd want to see. Obviously, strength and unity is real important for our community, and that's something I kind of took away from that meeting, and that's what I used to, make the overall design.
Mm-hmm. Strength and community.
Yeah, and then unity as well.
Unity, yeah, and I understand that it's going to be a mural that is going to also be attractive to young and old, and pretty much everybody in the gamut for our community. Is that always something that is kind of you pinpoint that to try to reach the greater community, or is there any, like, I know that the mural over at the health department, that was a specific demographic that you guys were
Yeah,
trying to
that
reach?
was based on addiction. That was actually Kevin
Mhm.
Burdick out of Flint that got commissioned for that project. And when you're thinking about old and new, you like the older crowd and the newer crowd, which is what's cool about this project is we use spray cans. So it's kind of taking that street art vibe and updating it into a large platform for murals.
Okay. And when Kevin did his, like the recent one, for the civil rights leader of Saginaw, what was that one with? Cans?
Yeah,
or-
that was with spray cans as well, and then
Wow.
using a large sprayer, same concept,
So how long did it take him to do that mural?
He started on a Monday and he was done by Friday.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a master blaster. He gets done pretty quick.
Yeah, and that was really a beautiful, beautiful mural in addition to downtown Saginaw. You can see that right from the highway 675. And we're talking about the mural that was to the civil rights leader who marched with Coretta Scott King and Martin Luther King Jr. His name was
James Leather.
Yes. And James Leather and his family were there on the unveiling. It was really nice to see that happening, as well as Pruitt, Mr. Pruitt from the NAACP. And there was such a history there. And I think that's one of the things that I find when I see these murals happening, that you're being educated as well, because I wasn't familiar with the story. And it's a great story about this civil rights icon, I'll call him, because I mean, he's even celebrated down south.
Yeah, yep.
And so, you were involved with that as well, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that whole project.
Well, that actually started 3 years ago, like around COVID, and I can't remember his name, but a gentleman was looking for a way to showcase James Leather, and ended up hitting up Kevin Burdick in the Great Mural Project. And 3 years later, here we are. It took a lot of planning and figuring out a building and budget. There's always the budget,
Well, that's a beautiful wall, that particular one. Were you guys familiar with Jim Leather?
Not
No.
at all. Not until probably maybe until a year ago,
Yeah. See, and I think his story really needs to be told at a greater level in Saginaw, because he was from Saginaw.
Yep.
Right. And this is a guy, who his leg was amputated. He marched with Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King, and he's celebrated, like I said, down south,
and around the world.
Yeah,
he did marches all around the world his whole life.
He was very much for civil rights for all people, and the neat thing is like I say, these murals really educate people. So when you see that and you look at that mural and you're like, what is that story, if you don't know? And then you're going to want to try to find out. So, I mean, that's the beauty of this great mural project. Even the one at La Estrellas Bakery, when you see the owners there in the mural, Freddie Diaz did that last year from Southwest Detroit. And he's got conchas and the sweetbread, the Mexican sweetbread, pan dulce. And so, I mean, it's just a real educational concept when you see these murals and you're driving by and you're thinking, wow, well, what does that symbolize? And there's a story behind everything, right? There's a story behind these murals. So what makes you guys inspired to be artists and being involved in the Great Mural Project?
I'll let Devon go first.
I've been drawing since Pac-Man came out. So it's been in me since I was a kid. I saw my cousin, Deshae McKinney. He was an amazing artist. As a young man, 16, 17, and he happened to pass away at 17. So I kind of like mirrored myself after him, and I've been in the art, fashion, like I say, ever since I was a kid.
Wow. And have you been involved with the Great Mural Project and other projects?
Yes. I was part of the utility boxes. We did the grounds right there on Court in Hamilton when they had the murals on the ground. We painted the ground.
The chalk.
Yeah. So I've been with the Great Mural Project for at least 3 years, I would say, and it's been great to be able to paint the city, being in different cities and seeing the artwork that other cities have, and now to apply it here in Saginaw and to work with John and the Great Mural Project has been great.
Now, we know about Flint and the murals there. Pontiac, I was just recently in Pontiac, saw a beautiful mural over there. Detroit and Eastern Market has beautiful murals.
Yeah, murals in the market.
That's wonderful. And of course, in the Southwest Detroit Mexican town area, beautiful murals over there. Elton Duran, he did a beautiful mural to the singer, the Sugar Man, who just recently passed this week. If you know the Sugar Man story about that artist from the 60s who gained recognition, not so much in the United States, but down in South Africa during apartheid. And he was a legend in the community and was, he was looked upon as Elvis down in South Africa. And here he was in Detroit.
Yep.
And they found him in Detroit. We're going to talk more about murals coming up because there's so much to talk about, but we got to go into commercial. So we'll be right back.
The unmistakable sound and unforgettable music. Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort invites you to Christmas Jazz with Kenny G. Sunday, December 10th at 6 p.m. Tickets start at $34. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Kenny G. Beautiful music for the most beautiful of seasons. Sunday, December 10th. Showtime 6 p.m. at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join Adam Howard for the Retirement and Income Radio Show this Saturday at noon. You can also call Adam now for your complimentary customized Safe Money and Income Radio Kit and Safe Money and Income Radio Book. 844-350-7233. That's SAFE. That's 844-350-7233 or SAFE.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower. There's new concern about China's impact on the global economy after disappointing readings there and interest rate cuts. Also, a stronger than expected reading on retail sales for July could lead the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates again last month. Retail sales were up 0.7%, up 1% excluding autos, and up 3.2% for the year ending in July. Home Depot's quarter top forecasts it's seeing some softness in demand for big ticket items, but spending on smaller home improvement projects is holding up. And Home Depot is buying back $15 billion worth of its stock. Shares of D.R. Horton, NVR, and Lennar are higher. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway made a new investment in the companies. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll for you, Michigan's bottle return law. Senate bills have been introduced to expand Michigan's current bottle return law. Currently, most soft drinks, beer, other carbonated beverages have a 10-cent return. The expansion would include other beverages such as tea, water, sports drinks, and more, though there would be an exception for milk containers. The bills would also allow consumers to take any containers to any large store. There'd also be a bottle handling fund created to reimburse distributors and dealers on a per-bottle basis. Some supporters say the current bottle law is working for the environment now, and we need to make it better. The Michigan Retailers Association says, we know we need a recycling program, but this bottle deposit law should actually go away. It's become too expensive, and it's very unsanitary. So the poll question for you, should Michigan's current bottle return law be expanded to include more containers? Vote yes, no, or I'm not sure. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and find the poll box.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. Thank you for being with us this morning. I am your host, filling in for Art Lewis. I'm Larry Rodarte, and we're talking art. Isn't that something? We're talking art on the Art Lewis Show. But we've got John Vasquez. You hear about that name more and more. He's an artist who's part of the Great Mural Project, and he's also got one of his cohorts here, Devon Collins, who is going to be working on a Great Mural Project mural starting tomorrow. That's going to be unveiled next week. Next Wednesday is the great unveiling of the next Great Mural Project. Tell us a little bit about, there's so much art in the city now in Saginaw. There's so much more color thanks to the Great Mural Project. Tell me a little bit about that, John.
Well, the Great Mural Project is a community-minded project and a way to bring artists together, whether it's all local or people from outside of Saginaw. But it's really to create a strong art community, and that's the main theme to the whole project.
Wonderful. And, the Saginaw Art Museum has also got Arts for Everyone, a program that's trying to incorporate more children into the arts. And they've got a program that's, we did a show with Mi Gente on air with Thor over there at the Saginaw Art Museum. And, that's a great thing because art is such a wonderful gift to the community. It really is. And how big is this new mural that's going to be happening at the Behringer Building?
It's 5 to 6 stories tall. I think it's 64 by 60. So it's a pretty large area to be covering.
Wow. And you're planning on doing this in a week?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
We got budget, and we only, can only keep the parking lot shut down for so long for Delta, and
and you got the expense of the lift that you're going to be using.
Yep, we could keep the lift forever, but it would cost us a pretty penny. So the quicker we can get it done, that way we save a little bit money on that.
Yeah. Well, one of the listeners here today is saying, do you use some kind of protective coating to preserve the murals?
Not necessarily, for a couple reasons. So the wall being brick, for one, you have to allow for moisture to come out, and if we were to put a protective coating on it, it creates cracking really quick, and then you end up having paint fall off. The good thing about spray paint is, when the sun's hitting it, it's always expanding and retracting. So if you put that protective coating on it, you're just going to create a problem really quickly that it won't sustain and hold on the wall.
So,
and then it also has a UV protection in it. So it's not a necessity to put a protective coating on it. Sometimes they'll do it in high graffiti areas so that they can clean the graffiti off and still keep the integrity of the mural in place. But this isn't it's not a project like that.
So how long do you think this mural, what's the given lifespan of this mural?
Well, we're hoping at least 15, 20 years. Paint's gotten a lot better, especially spray paint. There's a lot of different companies that you can choose from as far as mural paint goes. So it's changed a lot in the last 10, 15 years, and it's definitely helped this community out as far as like street art is concerned.
Yeah. You mentioned putting together a grid. How do you approach such a large project and split it up between artists?
Yeah, so it really goes back to like old style Renaissance painting. You have a scale size at one, on a small piece of paper, and you have to transfer it to a large piece. So what I'm going to be doing is like a 3 by 3 foot block method, and we just grid it all the way out, all the way down, and we count how many blocks we have, and then we go block by block as far as detail is concerned.
Wow. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Devon, let me ask you, like, what has been your take in regards to your involvement with the Great Mural Project?
To turn, how would you say it? What used to be considered illegal is now art. It's art. It's considered as art now. And the Great Mural Project has been leading the way in changing people's perception of what graffiti is. Now it's called street art. It's not looked upon as, they doing something bad to the building. It actually gives people a reason to come by and see the building or the artwork per se.
And do you think that the way that it was approached, how the Great Mural Project came into existence, as opposed to, say, just an artist going around on their own, that's not maybe community minded, is that what the difference is here? Because I know that, like, even when I've traveled to Europe and some of the cities there, there's graffiti all over the historic buildings, and
Marseille, France.
Yeah. I just thought, wow, man, because I was there earlier and then I went later, and it was a big change in terms of the art and everything that was over there. But I think that Saginaw's doing it right.
Yep.
And tell me who I know, like we mentioned, Jamie Forbes, Cassie Zimmerman, they've been a part of this. They're part of the Great Mural Project, the leadership there. How did that whole idea come about for the Great Mural Project?
That's a solid question. I guess that would be something we could ask them, but I know that a lot of them were either looking at empty walls, go to a place like Flint, and you're like, well, why can't we have this in Saginaw? And it's just a matter of getting the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And watching people catch up, or like, okay, well, this actually is kind of important. And it does show where our community's at and who's involved in the community. And like Devon said, bringing people to maybe areas that they're not used to traveling to and showcasing certain areas that might need some extra help. So dilapidated buildings can always be beautified. We just got to do it the right way.
Yeah. Well, I think it's wonderful what everybody's doing locally now in the Saginaw area. And you're behind a big project that's not project event that's coming up on September the 9th. It's called the Showdown, and it's the 3rd annual. And that's going to be happening.
It'll be
in
down
what area of Saginaw?
It'll be in Old Town Saginaw, down underneath the Court Street Bridge on Niagara. We'll have a couple blocks shut down. And this year we got permission to paint the 303 building down there as well, facing the river. So we have a little bit more area to work in without having to cover older artwork up that's already been displayed. like from previous years. So I think it's great. And it's just kind of like an expansion out of that area, but try to do it in a classy way.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go into commercial, but I want to talk with John about a special mural that he just recently did with Selena Quintanilla.
Warmer weather is here, and associates in eye care want you to remember to wear sunglasses with UV protection. Most of us acquire 80% of our lifetime UV exposure before 18, so it's extremely important for children to have sunglasses with UV protection. Ultraviolet rays have harmful effects on the eyes that can lead to cataracts and macular degeneration. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Engel at their Saginaw or Hemlock locations, call 792-8686. Associates in eye care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam, and Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long. And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Hi, this is Bill Hobson from Michigan Golf Live, and I hope you'll join me on Saturday for our 24th season finale of Michigan Golf Live Radio. And this weekend, we're broadcasting from the Agaming Golf Resort to celebrate golf and life and fun in the Traverse City area. Be listening for your chance to win free golf. It's the 24th season finale of Michigan Golf Live. Saturday from 1 to 3 on 100.5 and 790 AM News Radio WSGW.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
Good morning, good morning. I'm Larry Rodarte here, filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. And we're talking art this morning because Saginaw's got it going on with the Great Mural Project. It's a wonderful concept that is happening, and it's colorizing the city. The utility boxes at a lot of different corners throughout the streets is beautiful to see, and the great murals that are happening. And we've got one that's going to be unveiled next Wednesday. The Great Mural Project is unveiling the mural that's happening at the Behringer Building, the historic Behringer Building, downtown Saginaw. And John Vasquez, Devon Collins are here in the studio, and they're going to be working on this mural starting tomorrow. So, you know, it's wonderful to see art displayed in a way that it is now in the city of Saginaw. And one of the murals that recently came up, I think is in the last, the beginning of the summer, was a mural at the Case Funeral Home building down in Old Town Saginaw. And it was celebrating an icon in the Latino community. Selena Quintanilla Perez, the great Tejano singer who lost her life in 1995. Selena was painted by John Vasquez. Tell me about that, John.
Well, the idea kind of came up, based on representation. Saginaw is a melting pot, and I feel like the Mexican community is very large, and I don't think there's enough representation of who they are. And until you show that to the community, people don't really think about it. So, I mean, a lot with this new mural that's going to be going up, that's the same concept. It's about showing representation and who is involved in the community and who, is a part of it. So I think that's real important for Saginaw. Instead of just putting random pieces of artwork up, I think representation should come first, especially with the bakery mural. I think that was perfect. I think it is exactly where it needed to be, right time, right place, and same with Selena. We need more representation of who's in our community.
So you and I talked a little bit about, and you remember way back, I think it was 28 years ago when Selena did pass away, and there was the Cinco de Mayo parade, and the Civica actually put out a float for Selena, purple and white with all kinds of flowers. We were truly a community in mourning when she was gunned down in Corpus Christi, Texas. Tell me about that experience, because you had to have been quite young.
Yeah, I was pretty young, but it was a memorable moment for me. Like I knew about Selena, but being, so young, I didn't really have an impact until I was at that parade. And I just realized that this felt more like a funeral procession, and everybody was so upset, so it's hard not for it to have an impact and not to explore the idea. And, the more you explore, the more you realize how important she was, and for the Mexican community and the whole country, as far as like being a bilingual singer, doing stuff in English and then doing stuff in Spanish and then having a cross between in the middle of a song. I think it was revolutionary for that community.
Yes, it was. And so tell me, the street that mural that you painted of Selena is on what?
It's on Hamilton Street and Cass, I believe.
Cass, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, if you
Facing south.
if you haven't seen it, drive down there, because it's a great mural representation of Selena, and we're so thankful as a community. I know, because I know we've talked about it in my community, and it's nice to see that inclusivity that is happening with these murals around the city, and the representation, like you said, is important. And we're just so happy that you did that. So thank you.
Appreciate it.
I also want to talk about the showdown coming up, because that's also in Old Town, and it's the 3rd annual. It's happening September the 9th. And at that time when the showdown is happening, you've also got the silo mural that's going to be painted at that time. So we got a lot of art happening. Tell us a little bit about what you foresee for the showdown and during that time when the silos are also going to be painted in Old Town.
Yeah, so there's been some controversy with the silos because they really wanted Saginaw artists doing it. But from my perspective, I think it's great to have an international artist coming into Saginaw to showcase this place and our community. I feel like this will be the 2nd largest mural in the country once it's done, and that's just national attention for us. And we don't necessarily get positive national attention. We're always kind of getting a negative spin on what Saginaw is. So I feel like just changing the mindset with the showdown and the silos going on at the same time, hopefully that whole street, Niagara, that day will be showcasing art on a world platform. And that's what we want.
Yeah, that's nicely said. Nicely said. What do you want people to take away from seeing your murals? And, what do you think people will think about this new one when it's unveiled next week?
I always like the questions that you have internally as you're looking at something on a large platform. So I feel like a lot of the questions that are going to be asked, I won't be present for. And having this dialogue with other people and creating a larger, conversation is what I'm here for, especially within the community, because like we are really trying to get an art-driven, community-minded organization going and it not just all follow the wayside like it has in the past.
Wow. Can I be a part of it?
Yep.
That sounds like fun and interesting, and I'd love to contribute too. But Devon, tell me, how is what are you feeling today as an artist who's been born and raised in Saginaw, and you see this big change happening here in our community?
Well, like I said earlier, I've been drawing and painting since I was a kid. And like John said, to see it come full circle to where what we do now is called, graffiti is not bad. It's not a bad thing to make it on the walls and stuff now. So to call it street art and people are happy about what we're doing, like we get a lot of support from the city about our projects and the people who doing them. Like I know him, I know them, I seen him painting. We get a lot of people to come watch us paint. So in that sense, it's awesome to be a part of this.
Yeah, I want to be an artist now.
Just practice.
Can you
just start doing it?
Yeah, we actually have cans for people to come down during the showdown.
Wow.
You don't have to be
you can bring your Patitos truck. You can set up and sell, so.
All right, maybe I'll do that. I'll draw a patito down on Court Street.
I like that idea.
Well, we'll be right back. We're going to go into commercial. We're going to talk more with John Vasquez and Devon Collins.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password.
Or you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine what could relief from IBS-C mean for you. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad.
All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Good morning. We're back here on the Art Lewis Show, and we're talking art in the city of Saginaw. And I am your host, filling in, Larry Rodarte. And it's a pleasure to be with you here today as we talk with John Vasquez and Devon Collins. They are part of the Great Mural Project, and they've got a mural that's going to be unveiled next Wednesday over there on the Behringer Building. How many of you out there remember the Behringer Building? It's a great historical building in the city of Saginaw, downtown, and we got art coming out. Now, there's art on that building already.
Yeah,
correct?
Mark Petrowski, I think, was the artist who painted some of the front side of that building. And that was a couple years ago now. So
Yeah, because it looks nice. It's part of that core of downtown by Delta College. You've got the civil rights Jim Leather mural there now, and then now the Behringer Building. Is there plans for more art down in that area in the city, in the the actual downtown area?
we would really like to do the Jefferson 1 building, but that's just going to be a matter of funding. Sometimes with these projects, we're looking for the building owner to maybe donate a little bit. So that was kind of some of the complication this year with the Jefferson 1. Plus, it's a pretty large wall, so it's not.
It's almost like 2.
Yeah, or even 3. So like you'd panel it out and have 3 different artists showcased on one wall instead of having a crazy, huge, large mural.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge one. That would really make an impact downtown, because that's what you see. That and it's a nice wall.
Oh, it's big. It's big.
Yeah. Well, the mural reveal and celebration is going to be happening, like I said, next Wednesday, August 23rd, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. if you can make it. Saginaw Presents by John Vasquez and Devon Collins and Kayla Pete Trotner. She's going to be an artist as well that's involved with this, and it's going to be on the Behringer Building at 126 North Franklin if you can make it down there. And Pit and Balcony and the Great Showdown and the Great Mural Project are all part of this, so it's going to be a nice event. Are you going to have food trucks out there?
I mean, you can show up, Larry. We know this, so you let me know. Also, another person that's really involved with the Great Mural Project is Amy Spatafor from Pit and Balcony, and I really want to give her a shout out because she's done a lot of our grant writing this year, and she's really helped a lot with raising the funds for these projects. So we definitely really appreciate Amy Spatafor for what she's doing.
And that's part of what this is all about too, is raising those funds. That's really a big part of this, isn't it?
Yes, it is, because things aren't cheap anymore. So you gotta be able to pay the artists and pay for the paint and permits and all kinds of stuff that goes into this.
Well, I think you guys have done a wonderful job. And Jonathan, my producer here, I always like to get his opinion. What do you think about this, Jonathan? Because you're coming from a different generation, younger generation. What do you think about this?
Not only a different generation, but I don't live in Saginaw. But since I've been working here and driving around and hearing about the Great Mural Project has made me more aware of driving around Saginaw and seeing, hey, there's one of their projects, or driving around, you see one of the utility boxes. It's nice.
Yes.
It looks better than it would. That's a
Yes.
understatement, but it catches the eye. I remember I lived in Fort Wayne in Indiana for a year, and they had this thing where they had mastodons, these big mastodon statues, and they'd have people paint them, and they were around the city, and you could go find them all. It reminds me of that, where you're driving around and there's just a little splash of color on a street corner or on a wall somewhere, and it's fantastic to see. And I like to see more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel the same way. I walked to Ojibwe Island from where I live, and walking over the Court Street Bridge, the chalk mural or project that you guys did was it last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago. Where cars are driving and stuff, kind of that it's gone now.
Yeah.
But if you walk over the bridge, there's the butterflies, and you see, and that's wonderful to see.
They stayed the longest.
Yeah, and I'm so bored with my walk most of the time, so that makes it interesting to be walking on Court Street Bridge. So yeah, art can really be a real plus to any city, and I'm so glad the Great Mural Project is a part of Saginaw, and it's evolved slowly. But it's wonderful to see. And how can anybody maybe get involved with the Great Mural Project that may want to, or is it something that you want a limited number of people?
Well, the way it works is there's socials, so you can find the Great Mural Project on Facebook and find their email. So they usually put out like a call to action when they're ready for a new project. So you just got to kind of keep your eyes peeled for it, and once it happens, you submit maybe a portfolio, who you are, what you're about, and then it kind of goes from there, whether they contact you back. Usually they do, regardless, and try to get you on the roster.
All right. So we're just going to mention again, your Great Showdown is going to be happening, the third annual, on September 9th in Court Street, in that area in downtown. So everybody make plans to attend that and support that event as well.
It's a family event, free to the public. Come down, watch art. We're going to have 30 vendors, a couple food trucks, maybe Larry's food truck, and yeah, it'll be a good time.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Devon Collins and John Vasquez here on the Art Lewis Show. Thanks so much.
Duck, duck, goose? Try Duck, Duck, Jeep at Saginaw Eagles Landing. That's right. You can be the lucky duck who wins a $60,000 Jeep. Earn entries every Friday and Saturday in August from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then be there for the grand prize drawing on August 26th at 10 p.m. for your chance to win. It's Duck, Duck, Jeep. Only at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Richard's Detailing in Saginaw. You are going to get 50% off of their Golden Detail Package. It's normally $180 for trucks and SUVs and $140 for cars, but you can get these same deals for half off. Richard's Detailing Golden Detail Package includes a foam wash, interior wipe down and steaming, leather and plastic cleaning and conditioning, and so much more. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Well, that wraps up this edition of the Art Lewis Show. It's been a pleasure. I'm Larry Rodarte. Once again, we want to thank you for joining us this morning, and we thank our guests, John Vasquez and Devon Collins, for speaking with us about the Great Mural Project and the unveiling that they're going to be having next Wednesday on the Behringer Building. Up next is the Focus program. We'll be focusing on the SVRC Marketplace today, but first, the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW